Hey Daniel, I want to talk about something today that I think almost everyone struggles with at some point.
Go on then. I'm intrigued.
Getting the most from your day. Not just being busy, but actually feeling like you did something meaningful with your time.
Oh, that is such a real topic. Because I think a lot of people end the day feeling exhausted, but also somehow like they didn't really achieve anything.
Yes, that feeling of being busy all day but having nothing to show for it. It's so common and it's really frustrating.
So where do you think that feeling comes from?
I think it comes from the difference between activity and productivity. Being active means doing things, right? But being productive means doing things that actually matter.
That's a really important distinction. I can see how we fall into that trap.
Most of us fill our days with activity without really thinking about whether any of it is actually moving us forward.
So how do you fix that? How do you shift from just activity to genuine productivity?
Well, the first thing, and this sounds almost too simple, is to start the day with intention. Before you do anything else, ask yourself one question. What would make today a good day?
Just one question? That's it?
Just one. Because most people start their day by checking their phone or their email. Immediately, they're in reactive mode.
Oh, I'm definitely guilty of that. My phone is usually the first thing I look at.
Exactly. Someone else is deciding what gets their attention. The day has started before they've even thought about what they want from it.
That makes sense. So we're letting external demands dictate our internal focus.
And research consistently shows that starting the day in reactive mode, responding to messages, scrolling through news, makes it much harder to focus and do meaningful work later.
So my brain is already scattered before I've even had my first coffee.
Pretty much. Your brain gets into a distracted state very early, and it's hard to get out of it. Even just 5 or 10 minutes of quiet before you look at anything, like making a cup of tea, can make a significant difference.
Okay, so intention is the first thing. What's the second?
The second is understanding your energy levels throughout the day. Most people have a natural rhythm, times when they're most alert and focused, and times when their energy drops.
And the mistake is trying to do important work when your energy is low, right?
Exactly. For most people, the brain is sharpest in the first 2 to 3 hours of the morning. That's when you have the most cognitive energy.
So that's when you should tackle your most demanding work, the creative stuff, the thinking stuff.
Precisely. The things that actually require your full attention. But instead, what do most people use that window for?
Emails. I know I do. Clearing out the inbox feels productive, but it's not.
Right. Email is almost never urgent. Most emails can wait 2 hours, but people treat their inbox like it's on fire and use their best mental hours clearing it.
And then when the afternoon comes and your energy drops, you try to do the important creative work and wonder why it feels so hard. I've definitely done that.
The afternoon is actually perfect for admin, emails, routine tasks, things that don't require much creative thought. Save the morning for the work that truly matters.
That's such a good point. Okay, so we have intention in the morning and matching your work to your energy levels. But what about motivation?
Motivation. That's such an interesting topic because I think most people misunderstand what motivation is. They wait for it to arrive.
They think motivation is something that happens to you, like a feeling that comes and then you act.
And research suggests it's actually the opposite. You don't wait for motivation to act. You act, and then the motivation follows. The feeling of motivation tends to come after you start, not before.
So the answer to not feeling motivated is just to start anyway?
Start very small, tiny. If you need to write a report and you can't face it, don't say, "I will write the report." Say, "I will write 1 sentence."
Just one sentence? That's manageable.
And what almost always happens is once you've written 1 sentence, the resistance drops and you keep going. The hard part is always starting. Once you're in motion, it becomes much easier to stay in motion. I love that. There's actually a principle in physics for this. Objects in motion tend to stay in motion. The same is true of human behavior. Okay, what about mindfulness? You mentioned it at the start, and I think a lot of people hear that word and think it means meditating for an hour. Yes, and that puts a lot of people off. They think mindfulness means sitting cross-legged with your eyes closed for 45 minutes, and if they can't do that, then they're not doing it right.
Which feels like another thing to fail at.
Exactly. But mindfulness doesn't have to look like that at all. At its simplest, it just means being present in what you're doing, not thinking about 10 other things while you're doing one thing.
Just being here, in this moment, doing this task, which sounds simple but is actually really hard in practice.
It is hard because our minds naturally wander. Research suggests the human mind is wandering, thinking about something other than what it's doing, around 50% of the time.
Half the time we're not actually here? That's a bit scary.
Half the time we're somewhere else entirely, thinking about what we need to do later, or replaying something that happened yesterday, or worrying about something that may never happen.
And mindfulness is the practice of noticing that and gently coming back.
Exactly. You don't have to stop your mind wandering. That's impossible. You just notice when it has wandered and gently bring it back. The more you practice that, even for just a few minutes a day, the better you get at staying focused.
So what does a practical mindful moment look like for someone who isn't going to meditate?
It could be as simple as one mindful cup of tea. Just sit with your tea and drink it. Don't look at your phone. Don't think about your to-do list. Just drink the tea and notice the warmth and the taste and the smell.
That's mindfulness. It takes 5 minutes. That is so much more achievable than 45 minutes of meditation.
Any moment of genuine presence is mindfulness. A mindful walk, a mindful meal, even a mindful shower. Just being in the shower rather than mentally running through your day while you wash your hair.
I am definitely mentally in the shower, but physically somewhere else most mornings.
Most people are. And that matters because rest isn't just about sleep. It's about giving your brain moments of genuine quiet during the day.
Without those moments, the brain stays in a state of low-level stress all the time, which is exhausting.
Exactly. Which is why you can get to the end of a day having done a lot and still feel completely drained.
So the summary of today is, start with intention, match your work to your energy, start small when motivation is low, and find small moments of genuine presence during the day.
That's it. None of these things require you to overhaul your whole life. They are small shifts, but small shifts practiced consistently over time make a huge difference.
Which brings us back to what we said in the routines episode, small acts of self-definition, every single day.
Every single day. So our question for you today, what is one small thing you could do tomorrow morning to start your day with more intention?
Tell us in the comments. We would love to know.
And there's a workbook for this episode in the description with the full transcript, vocabulary, exercises, and a writing task.
Find us at EnglishUnfoldedUK.com. Thank you for listening to English Unfolded UK.
Keep learning, keep growing.
See you next time.
Bye for now.
Bye.